Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is McDuck33 and welcome to my very first Borderlands 3 video. So yeah, this is my first Borderlands 3 video. I'm gonna be posting this on my second channel, as you guys probably already know. So yeah, I figured I'd start off with a build video. So yeah, let's get into it. So this is my Moze build. I don't really have a name for it. It's just my Moze build. So jumping right into things. We're gonna look at the gear, and so first, we're gonna be using a hail. This gun recently got buffed in, I think, February, and is now really good. If you can manage to hit crits, it's even better. You can probably see that 150% crit damage down at the bottom. And we'll come back to all these weapons' anoints once we look at the skill tree. So this is... I'm going to use a hail, and if you don't know what the hail does, it shoots in this arced pattern. So if I wanted to hit, say, the tree, I would have to aim higher because you'll see that it arcs. So that's it's not that difficult to control once you get the hang of it, but I have noticed that the projectiles do move slightly slow. So that can be a little difficult to compensate. Next up, we have ourselves a Firefly. And what this gun does is when you shoot it, it shoots out, well, fireflies that essentially nest themselves in your enemies and then spread and infect other enemies. So you'll see once we go up there, actually we can test it right now. So basically you shoot someone and they start burning, and those little particle effects spread to other enemies. Which is really, really useful, and we'll talk about that in a sec. So, yeah, you'll see how there... No, not you. I'll show off the hail as well here. So you saw that did massive damage. By the way, I am playing on Mayhem 11 right now, so... oh man. Yeah, I am playing on Mayhem 11. Give me a sec to get a fight for your life. So this is the Critical Thug, which is my go-to fight for your life gun. And I'll explain the anointment after that. Firefly is really good for fire damage, which, again, I'll get to in a second. I use this gas mask because all of these weapons are not great for getting out of fight for your life. Oh, my bad. I forgot to mention the Vanquisher. The Vanquisher I use for a couple things. The first is movement, because it gives you 20% increased slide speed, which when paired with a snowdrift is really good. And it has that 300/90 anointment, so if I want to have Iron Cub do a bunch of damage, or if I want to do a bunch of damage myself with Iron Bear, then I'll just hold this out, and it does that on its own. There's no need to, like, it's just a passive effect that happens. So I explained why I use this gas mask, because you kind of need that extra fight for your lifetime. And yeah, I know there is Guardian rank, like Too Angry to Die, and Dead Man's Hand, and whatever that one, Resilient. But it's just nice to have. Next up, we have a Eternal Flame. This is really, really, really essential to the build. And basically, whenever Moze sets an enemy on fire, it has a 15% chance to completely reset her action skill cooldown. And this is why we have the Firefly. Um, so I'll get more into that in a second. Then we have a piss grenade, because that's just kind of the best grenade in the game right now for general mobbing and just anything. I prefer the on grenade throw anointment, just because that's the best one, unless you want to do an action skill end just for that extra element, which you can do. This cosmic crater, don't be fooled, it's just there because I needed a I got a snowdrift, and honestly you can really use whatever you like. The what's it called? Pearl of Ineffable Knowledge is really good. Victory Rush is really good. Auto Idols are pretty good, although Moze does have some lifesteal and generally does not need to be healed, but those are some great options if you do want to get a perfect build. So yeah, anything that really suits your preference. I just found this Snowdrift, and it had pretty good rolls down at the bottom. So, anyways, let's get into why I use this stuff. I explained all this. So the Hail is my go-to running and gunning skill. So you notice that Annoyant, while Iron Cub is active, weapon damage is increased by 100%. And yes, I know that I could have gotten the action skill active 200% anointment, but I don't have the cash for that. And so this gun goes from good to amazing once I put out Iron Bear, and Iron Bear just completely wrecks. Which I'll show you after I'm done explaining all this. Yeah. This, as I've previously explained, is my go-to Eternal Flame gun. So, if Iron Bear runs out of durability, or I guess cooldown, or whatever, I equip this Firefly and just start shooting people. And the good thing about the Firefly is that spreading effect. So I can really just shoot like 2 or 3 people, and then those Fireflies will spread to other people, and it's just a really good gun for that. Next up is the Critical Thug. I have the ×2 version, which I would say is arguably better, especially on Moze, because she can regen ammo. But the really good thing about this is my go-to fight for your life gun, because of that URAD anointment, which is, while under 50% health, deal 150% bonus radiation damage. Super good, because when you're in fight for your life, you're always below 50% health. So you're just going to absolutely destroy any enemy you come across. And this pairs well with the gas mask, because this is a Tor gun, so its projectiles move ultra slow. So that extra time kind of gives you some, I don't know, room, I guess, for error. The only downside is that Moze regens ammo on this gun super slowly. So if I shoot, oh nope, that did not. There, you'll see that it regens very slowly. So this is one of those guns where you are going to be reloading more often than others, because obviously you're not going to want to just be standing there helpless waiting for your gun to regen ammo. I think I already discussed the Vanquisher, but I use this for movement, and if I want to do big damage with Iron Cub and not really do anything myself. So yeah, I will put each one of these weapons into a test, and as you can see, that guy just died. I'll explain why there are explosions going off in the background once we go over the skill trees, but as you can see, everything is dead. We are just obliterating everything. And yeah. So, look at that. Everybody there is dead. Now, this build is kind of Iron Bear focused, but I would say that you also do stuff. Let's do. Where did he go? So yeah, even great chance for me to show off critical thug. Look how much damage that does. Boom. It's a 2-shot. Yeah, critical thug is very good. And if you can hit crits with the hail, it's incredible. Catch on fire. So, watch in. Ow. Oh, okay. Watch in the bottom. Yeah, right hand corner. Stop moving around. There. You saw that my action skill just immediately got recharged. Yeah, that is because of the Eternal Flame class mod, which is very good. So, yeah, that is, those are the weapons. So now let's take a look at the skill tree. We're going to start off on the, yeah, we'll go green tree. Arguably, this is the best tree for Moze because you kind of need it for any, you really need it for any playthrough. Actually, first of all, we're going to take a look at what Iron Bear stuff I'm using. So I'm using Iron Cub, obviously, as you saw, with the Vanquisher rocket pods and the nukes. So on Mayhem scaling, these do massive damage. These do tons of damage. Like, big damage. So, as far as the green tree goes, we're going to put 5 points in Cloud of Lead. This is really the only good skill in this, whatever you want to call it, rank. So this skill states that occasionally Moze's and Iron Bear's shots will deal additional incendiary damage and won't consume ammo. I believe, yeah, this is every 4 shots. So on something like the hail, it's going to be pretty constant. And stuff like the Firefly. So this is a really good skill to pick up, regardless of if you're putting points here. Next up is Redistribution. And I don't know why people... Oh, no, never mind. This is just a really good skill. It's basically Forge, but way earlier. If you're good at hitting your crits, this should be no problem at all. And by the way, I am saying this in the order that I put points into them. So I'm going to skip over this because this was one of the things that I put the least amount of points into. Alright, next up is Scrappy, and this is useful. It's mainly useful for the weapon damage, but if you like using Malawan guns, then yeah, it's pretty useful. So, I mean, that hail, you could really switch out for any gun. I just like the hail because it's easy to get, and it's really not difficult to farm a good anointment. But if you want to use something like the plasma coil or the flipper or the DNA or the crit or something like that, then this mode swap speed is really useful. It switches instantly. Next up is Scorching Rpms. I see a lot of people not get this. I don't know why. Like, I don't understand why. It's just free crit damage, free fire rate, free Iron Bear damage, which for this build is really good. I do recommend putting 5 out of 5 points into this. Also, I didn't mention, yeah, 4 out of 5 points in this. I don't recommend maxing it out because although you do get an extra 6% gun damage, there's other skills that are just more useful. So, going back to this, yeah, definitely 5 out of 5 points in this. Very useful skill. Highly recommend. I don't know why people don't pick it up. Next up, Russian Offensive. To be honest, I don't actually know why Moze got this skill and not Zane, but now Zane has this skill and I'm fine with both. So, when Moze Moze can now sprint and shoot, which I'm gonna be honest, I actually like the animation more than the actual gimmick. Um, so yeah, while she's sprinting and shooting, you get lifesteal. So it's one of those things where you use it every once in a blue moon, but it's really not that useful. I just put a point in here to get down the tree. Um, Iron Bank, it's really good. It just increases magazine size. Like, what's not to like? Definitely recommend 5 out of 5 in this. Yeah, that's really just self-explanatory. Specialist Bear, if you're using really any build uses this skill because an extra 60% damage to Iron Bear is insane, especially considering how most of the time people are using uh, two of the same weapons. And I think this does apply to Iron Cub as well, with those nukes. So those nukes are doing an extra 60% damage, which is really good. Um, Next up, Some for the Road. Um, this is it's an ass skill. I really just use it for bossing in case I like actually use Iron Bear because I do that for bossing. I do get into Iron Bear like manually, just because the accuracy is better and yeah, it's just better in my opinion. So I use this for bossing, but that's really it. It's 1 point. It's not really any issue. Um, you'll be a little short after that 1 point, so you're gonna need to put 2 in to stoke the embers. It's just more incendiary damage. Yeah, it's just more incendiary damage. There's really nothing that hurts you here. Um, it's not the most useful skill, but it gets you down the tree. Forge, probably Moze's most important skill, if not one of them. You constantly regen ammo. So as long as you're not missing a ton of shots like me, you should be able to just spam ammo all the time. You might have to reload every now and then, but for the most part, you will have infinite ammo. Um, we're gonna take a stop by the purple tree real quick. We don't actually, um, yeah, actually, no, we're gonna go over to the blue tree. So, Fire in the Skag Den, really good, really good. If you guys don't know, this skill is broken. It allows Moze to do some crazy damage that she otherwise wouldn't be able to. Um, so definitely put 5 out of 5 points into this. That's a big definitely. Next up is Stainless Steel Bear. This is really useful because it just gives you a bunch of really nice stuff. So more health, more fuel, more damage on Iron Bear. So definitely put 5 out of 5 points into this. One thing to note is this is when you unlock the Vanquisher rocket pods. So if you do decide to like main actually going into Iron Bear, I definitely recommend the Vanquisher rocket pods. They're really good for general mobbing. Next up is Means of Destruction. This is just to get down the tree. It's pretty nice. Um, it's nice to have that ammo regen, which pairs nicely with the green tree. But for the most part, it's an skill. You just need it to get down the tree. Um, Pull the Holy Pin is, again, just to get down the tree, but it can be nice. It's not that great because we're using the Pissnade, which isn't really meant for damage. It's more meant for debuffing, but eh, it's an okay skill. You'll notice that I haven't put any point into Iron Bear, which for the most part is kind of strange, and yes, I know, it's because it's not very I never really get into Iron Bear to like go around mobbing. It's mainly just um it's mainly just the bosses that I do that for, and the AI on Iron Bear is not good at all. Even Iron Cub has crappy AI. So yeah, for this build, I don't recommend Auto Bear, um, unless you plan on going into Iron Bear, which really isn't part of the build. But anyways, Vampire, very good skill. However, it's not necessary. You really don't need it. The Pissnade is, It pairs nice with this skill because you can get that extra damage. excuse me, off that crit. Um, yeah, it's an skill to use. I just put 2 in it to get down the tree. But if you like this skill, then by all means use it. If you do need to rely on the vampire to get health, then you might switch the P-nade out for maybe something like a Hex or a Stormfront, something that can do consistent damage. Um, so yeah, two out of 5 points there, just to get a little bit of healing, not too big. Um, this is really good because of this next skill, which we'll talk about. This pairs really nicely with the Eternal Flame class mod because if you don't end up getting um, that 15% chance, then um, then you can always have this as a backup. Also, I believe that the Firefly does splash damage, but I could be wrong. So you're basically getting a 55% chance to... Actually, no. I take that back. Yeah, no. You're getting a 40% chance to... Or you're getting 40% cooldown rate, but a 15% chance to completely refresh it. But yeah, it does pair nicely as a backup and to just get down the tree. Um, Deadlines. This is just really useful for the nukes. The nukes take up a lot of fuel, and so having some reduced fuel drain is really nice. It also um, replenishes some fuel when you kill an enemy as Iron Bear, or when Iron Cub kills an enemy. So yeah, this is a pretty good skill. Um, Lastly, short fuse. This is really good. Um, it got buffed in like what, November, December? It was sometime late last year, but it's really good. You basically get free splash damage on any gun. You might have seen just like me firing the hail and then suddenly there was a small little explosion. That would be short fuse. Um, it turns any gun into an explosive gun, basically, which is really nice. It's really good on automatic weapons because, again, similar to, what was it? It was another skill. It was a skill in the green tree. Oh yeah, Cloud of Lead. Um, it's really good because you can just keep firing off shots, and those shots will, A, not be consuming ammo every fourth shot, and B, have a chance to create an explosion. So automatic weapons are very good for this build, hence why I have 2 of them. Next up is the red tree. So I just put points in here for the railguns. This is what I use for bossing. I use, usually I'll use this one for mobbing and bossing if I want to do mobbing with the railguns, which doesn't happen very often. And then if there is someone like Psycho Reaver, then I'll use Hell on Rails, just for that fire damage. So we have Security Bear. This is just to get down the tree. Honestly, everything in this skill tree is just to get down the tree. Um, it's it's an skill. Pick it up if you would like. I just like it because it gives Iron Bear a bit of protection. Those nukes can damage Iron Bear, I believe. Um, Next up, Armored Infantry. Again, just to get down the tree. Gun damage is always appreciated. Damage reduction is not bad. Drowning in Brass is an ass skill. More gun damage, less fire rate. Who cares? It's, yeah, again, it's an ass skill. Don't pick it up if you don't want to use the railguns. Lastly, for our last skill, really big guns, Iron Bear gains increased damage. I really didn't have anywhere else to put this 1 point. It's kind of up to you, but I figured an extra 16% Iron Bear damage would be appreciated. I have seen people put in points into big surplus. I didn't really see a point with this build because for the most part you're going to have Iron Bear up this entire time. So that's the skill tree. Let me quickly go over to Trant and we can see how Iron Bear functions against him. So as you can, whoa, that was very quick. As you can see, I'm going really fast with the Vanquisher, which is the main reason why I use it. So if I do need to do something like this, where I need to go really fast, then this is really handy. Also, there's a skip here, if you didn't know that. Why I didn't need to go that way. So, yeah. Again, this is mainly just for mobility. You can see how fast I'm going. I'm just speeding through everything right now. And over here. So yeah, honestly, you really only need the first 3 weapons as like actual weapons. Other than that, you're pretty much set. Let me quickly change over to railguns. And we want, there we go. And, oh, this is a perfect chance for me to get my cooldown. So, yeah. The thing is, they have to be set on fire. And it's only a 15% chance. So, I mean, it's, yeah, there we go. Alright, so, just hop into Iron Bear real quick, and crit spot, and, oh, it's not a one-shot? There. So, as you can see, railguns are super overpowered, and now, if that somehow did not finish him off, I now have infinite ammo. Oh look, it's an auto idle. Leave that up to sell it. So yeah, that is my Moze build. If you would like to give it a name down in the... Ooh, that's a good one. If you would like to give it a name down in the comments, go ahead. I really don't have a name for it. It's just kind of my Moze build. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, and if you guys really enjoyed, be sure to subscribe, because that'd be awesome. Holy crap, I just got 12 Iridium from one thing. Anyways, yeah, you guys have a wonderful day, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.